I need to show you what bearing the cross means. First of all, you will need to deny self. Just like I wanted to be a lecturer, I wanted to lecture chemistry. That's my discipline. There is an aspect of chemistry called natural product chemistry. I wanted to be able to go into the forests, get some herbs, and tell you that based on the phytochemical screening that I've done, this herb has cancer killing properties, and if we mingle the herb with some ginger and garlic, we increase the potency of that herb by 24%, and that makes it better than ivermectin. It makes it better than this, makes it better. That's what I was studying, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a scientific herbalist, to be giving people drug. You come, I say, okay, this is the lab test. You have a problem with your kidney, so you have an infection on your kidney, and that's why these readings are like this. And because of this, if we get you something like yes, we'll need garlic for that. We also need I wanted to formulate. That was what I wanted. But when I went to seek the Lord now requested that I leave my ambition to becoming a lecturer, to serve His will. You see, I had to deny what I wanted. I believed I had the intellectual capacity to be able to be a super lecturer. And what I mean by that is to come to class and lecture without notes. I'm in the sciences. I give you maps, I give you charts, I give you structures, I give you diagrams without notes. And I had the intellectual capacity to do that. But Jesus said that's not what your life is designed for. I died. To give that up was the meaning of my life, according to myself, had finished. Because I come from an intellectual family. So you need to prove that you are also on the block. You are also an authority in your own field. Hey, Jesus. And then the Lord will not allow that. That's why those of you that the Lord allowed to study the way you wanted, just give Him thanks. Because some of us, if in your life there is no account of something that you left in order to do the will of God, your Christianity is questionable. Because the moment you begin to encounter God, you will discover that God's perspective is not self-centered. The perspective you are going to take as your goal, as your objective, is going to have self-centered characteristics. God is going to reorder that passion and that potential, and is going to redefine your existence whatsoever beyond the scope of what self had created. Are you there? Even in an argument with your wife, the reason why the argument is existing is because you are still insisting on self. The day God will 1,000 times He will insist that you must deny self. And the more you keep denying self, the more self begins to weaken. You begin to deny self, the more self begins to weaken. You begin to deny self, then self is weakened. There will be situations that will provoke you, and the only way to respond is to fight, and fight very well with weapons. Oh my God. But Jesus will insist that you deny self. It's not that you will lose the ability to fight, but you will choose to deny the need to fight. The whole self will react. You will not even be, you will have a migraine because you did not follow up. In the night you'll be singing songs that are not on the octave. It's not in music. That sound is not in music, but it's self that is making. It's dying, so it's crying. It's the way of the spirit for self to suffer loss. Exactly. So that's a daily experience. Anytime self comes and say yes, tell self no. And if you have not been able to say no to yourself, you will not be able to say no to others. Exactly. So denying self is part of the protocol. Then what does it mean for you to take up your cross? the great teachers like Derek Prince, because I wanted to be able to simplify the whole idea of the cross. So I consulted the greatest teachers of our own century. Some men like Watchman Nee, they were experts on the Christian life. Derek Prince, they were teachers par excellence. So, you know, this is how Derek Prince puts it. He says, your cross is when your will and God's will clash. Like I wanted to be a lecturer, and then God wanted me to be a capacity builder in his kingdom. That the reason for the intellectual capacity was not for chemistry, it was for the Bible. Okay? So once upon a time, at some point, I was collided with God's will, and it was contrary to my will. Are you there? So you need to drop your own will, and then that his will is calling you to do, the only way you can fulfill it is by perpetual sacrifice. And your cross is yours, it's not mine. So what God will require from you will be different from what God will require from me. So what my cross is not what your cross is. But as you journey in life, you will come to a point where the image of your destiny that was created by self is going to come on head-on collision with God's will concerning your life. And that is where you find your cross. And in order for you to carry your cross, you need to put your will down and then carry all the challenges that are associated with doing that principal will of God. Is that clear? Now, if you don't have the culture of denying self, if you have not trained yourself that way, when you meet your cross, you will not be able to carry it. That's why some people grow old without fulfilling destiny. It is not because destiny was not beckoning, it was because they were not willing to carry their cross. I thank my God that I carried my cross. Are you there? And this is my cross. You are seeing me in my cross right now, because this was not a plan. I wanted to be, I would have been a professor at a young age. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I would have been a professor, and that was what I wanted, because I needed it for my family, to show my family member we are a family of intellectuals. So you need to produce a product that is what I was 3 when I started reading the newspapers like what do you call it? New York Times. When I was reading, I could comprehend New York Times, I could comprehend security reports, I could comprehend, and I felt okay, if I go to the classroom and I'm a lecturer, I'll manifest. If you are not used to denying yourself, when you see your cross, you will reject it. And in following Jesus, if you have rejected your cross, you will never know him. You will be a baby for life, because it is in carrying your cross that you will learn of him. It's the yoke that he puts upon you. That yoke binds you and him together, just like the yoke of oxen. You will need his help every day in order for you to carry that cross an inch ahead. It's not something that you can do independent of him. Right there? The cross is saying to self must die. So even though someone wrongs me and there's a way I want to follow the person up, I know the way of the Lord. He's saying self must die. It is self that is trying to respond. According to the New Testament, your real personality is Christ in you. So that personality that wears your soul is not the personality that is your authentic personality. The personality that is recreated, which is according to the image of Christ, is your real personality as a Christian. So you will need to deny the personality in the soul, so that the personality that is rooted in your regenerated human spirit can find expression. Except you deny the self, that personality inside will not be given the privilege of expression. You see, at this point, if you check what I'm saying critically, you will see that this is how God deals with human character It deals with human character through the cross. So if we are going to do the work of holiness, which is what Ephesians chapter 4 verse 1 speaks about, then we cannot avoid the cross. The cross is the basis of the work of holiness. The blood is the basis of redemption. Is that clear?